Most animal professionals are experienced with using safety equipment like muzzles, head collars, buster collars, or restraints like leads or towels or grooming nooses. We understand that sometimes the physical health needs of the animal and the safety of the practitioner outweigh the emotional learning journey that the animal is on in that moment. We also know that some processes are going to be uncomfortable and they're likely to produce an aggressive response from the animal from past experience. So, of course, we're going to hold the dog's collar to examine its bottom to keep that toothy end away from the vet. But the trouble with this is that our assumptions can become expectations. If we've always been bitten by Westies, we'll be more than likely to start using restraints with a Westie puppy that we've only just met. And lo and behold, over time, we're the ones that are sensitising this brand new puppy to the examination and the safety equipment that we're using. When I was a student in behaviour at uni, I worked as a zookeeper and we had to inoculate the wallabies once a year. So the head keeper and I marched out to catch the wallabies by the tail, pick them up and jab them in the base of the tail with the needle. And the head keeper said to me, make sure you grab and jab them the first time you catch them, because if they kick you and escape, you're not going to get to catch them again. And that's exactly what happened. I spent another 30 minutes trying to corner this poor wallaby, freaking him out and teaching him to avoid his keepers. And this is the issue for all of us. Animals learn. If we're going to have to do something to them for their health on a daily, weekly, monthly, or even yearly basis, we should train them to be active participants in this process, rather than making our jobs harder day by day and year by year. So let's learn how we can make this safety equipment emotionally safe for our animals way before we have to use it in a pet crisis moment. This is the very kind of training that you can practice every day with your own pet. Encourage clients with pets to practice these tasks at home, and you can even incorporate this training into your day-to-day work. The head collar or muzzle and collar hold. The aim of this training is to teach your dog to stand with its head in a halty or a muzzle or a cone, whilst keeping tension on their collar or holding their shoulders in a gentle restraint. An advanced version of this game would include someone handling different parts of your dog's body while they're in restraint. Just like we do with force-free harness fitting, we're going to put the safety equipment on the floor and let the dog eat around the item, making sure we can shift it around at their feet without them startling. We can do this exact same process with cats and towels. So next, we're going to put some treats inside the item that's in our hands, and we're going to invite the dog to come to us and put their head through to eat the treats. You will see how quickly my dog is pushing into this equipment because we've played this game with his buster collar, so he loves putting his head into stuff. Now, we really only want to treat the dog for putting its head into the item and staying there rather than putting their head in and coming out to eat treats. So let's treat the dog through this piece of equipment. The dog is free to pull out, but the game and the treats will quickly stop too. We can then build up duration. My dog has to wear the item for a little longer each time before I feed treats, and I'm going to reward him again if he chooses to stay in the muzzle after I stop treating him. Next, I'm going to teach him that he can feel the straps going over his head and feel the sensation of them next to his ears before he gets a reward. I could now add in the sensation of me holding his collar because he's in the muzzle, just a little bit of gentle pressure downwards. A few seconds of this feeling and I mark this lovely calm behaviour with a yes while he's experiencing these sensations, and I feed him inside the muzzle again. Make sure your dog is wearing a soft collar, not a choke chain or a prong for this. We want zero pain or fear added to the training environment. Finally, I'm going to do the muzzle up and treat him while he wears it using paste or treats cupped in your hand that are easy for the dog to get to. And this is going to make it less likely they're going to paw at the muzzle to get to the food. If you've gone too far too quickly and your dog is pulling back or trying to paw the item off once it's done up, see if you can get a behaviour other than the struggle before you remove the item. We don't want our pets to learn that struggling works to get them out of something, because this can be a really dangerous lesson if you're halfway through a vet check. So we're going to simply hold the collar until they stop struggling just for a second, treat the dog inside the item again if you can, and then take it off. Again, all treats stop when the item is removed. We're going to give the dog a break and then try building your dog's confidence again at a lesser stage. So holding the straps closed for longer and longer rather than doing them up. Once the dog is comfortable putting their head in, having the item done up and having the collar held, I can add in some gentle restraint. With my hand over the dog's shoulder and my fingers under both the collar and the muzzle strap, I've got complete control of the dangerous end. We're going to hold for a few seconds, mark the calm behaviour and treat the dog. Next, I will teach him to enjoy being touched while he's in restraint. You can even name the parts of the body that will be examined in order to give the dog an early warning of the body part that you're going to handle. Always start from the back and slide your hand down to each body part rather than going in to just grab the animal, which is naturally going to make them startle in shock. It's helpful if you've built your dog's confidence with handling each part of the body in turn when they were a puppy. Although some pets are only ever going to get a close inspection of these body parts if they're in restraint, because some of them have deep pain issues or previous handling trauma. You may also need to teach the dog that somebody unfamiliar might walk behind them while they're in restraint before you build up to handling them like this. Again, think about your distractions, add things one at a time to help your dog to succeed. And voila, you have a pet that is comfortable wearing safety equipment by choice and allowing restraint and body checks that keep them fit and healthy. Zero panic or stress needed. And you can adapt this training exercise for any pet with any item. This might be teaching a dog to enjoy standing on a grooming table or putting its head into a grooming noose. It might be teaching a cat to enjoy having a towel draped over them for vet checks, or teaching a bird to put its head into a hood. Safety equipment is something all pets can enjoy wearing with a little bit of time and training.